Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about something special, near and dear to those of us with red top Cummins N14s. This is what your fuel injector looks like. It's pretty beefy, pretty heavy, but as a Cummins owner, you're going to get used to seeing these a lot, or at least your service tech will, because the electrical solenoid on these likes to stop working and you end up having to replace them. As you may know, they sit in the head, we'll say kind of like that there. We'll pretend my steering wheel is the head. And they sit in there, and there's a couple components here. You have a plunger on the top, which runs off of the rocker, and then the rocker is pushed with a push tube that comes off your cam, and then you have an electronic portion. The plunger gives you pressure. The electronic portion is what the ECM tells how much, and that's how you get the proper amount of fuel delivery with pressure and quantity. And the issue with these is internally they're pretty weak. You know, they've got a few faults that are just kind of inherently built into them somehow. I think it's a lot to do with this electronic portion, but for most guys, your part number on this is going to be written on the nozzle itself, usually up towards the top. And so this one is a reman, so it's got some numbers punched out of it. Let's see, I might have another one laying around because I just replaced a couple of them, and generally you do want to replace these in pairs. All right, so this one is also a reman because right here where the serial should be, it's punched out with little X's. So yeah, this one was a reman as well, and it's not, you know, I tried out some cheaper remans. That's what these were. I don't really recommend them. They're about 350 bucks if you get them through Cummins, and that's, you know, about what you should expect to pay for them, I believe, in 2024 where we're currently at. But that's the basic rundown on these. Is you have your nozzle, there's a filter screen where the fuel comes in, and you've got some O-rings to keep the fuel from escaping where it shouldn't go, and then you've got your another O-ring up top here, and then there's the tip. And this tip you have to be careful with because they are prone to cracking if they're adjusted too tight. Generally you don't have a lot of problems with the nozzle part, but inside there's a whole bunch of little mechanisms that often go wrong as well, because this is, as I said, one of the big problems with the N14 is their fuel injectors. They're kind of weak, and so you'll be replacing them a lot. It's not a huge problem to do. They're pretty easy, but I would also recommend when you change one, you know, you have each head unit, each valve cover has 2 cylinders in it. If you replace one, do the other one in that head, because otherwise it seems to go out shortly after. So like if you do cylinder 5, then you should also do cylinder 6. Even though cylinder 6 is still firing, you're going to want to do a cylinder 6 as well, since you're already in there, you already have the tools out. It's kind of nice to just know that it's done. But anyway, that wraps that up. You know, pretty simple. Here's the solenoid, the pressure end, and that's the simple explanation of how these things operate. Maybe in a future video I'll tear one down and actually show you the internals of it, but for this, you know, it's nice to just kind of have an eye of what you're looking at. You also might find the part number right here. So this one is a 3411767, and I believe that's pretty common in almost every red top N14. But they're pretty simple, basic. Get used to seeing them, because if you run one of these motors, it's like I said, it's gonna happen more often than you'd like. But that's what I've got to say on that for today. Stay blessed, stay safe, keep the rubber side down, and we will catch you soon.